Okay, so let's go ahead and start right off with step number one, which is finding a business and a deal, so to speak. We'll go right to Google just to give you an example of where I live here in Las Vegas. I like to start with businesses locally in the town where we live. And of course, we find deals throughout the United States as well as globally in other countries. But let's just keep it simple to start because I'm going to look at business for sale by owner. Las Vegas. Now, the reason I do that is because, of course, a lot of businesses are for sale and listed with a broker. Much like a real estate agent, they're going to get a nice chunk of money. So my ideal situation is to find a business that's for sale by the owner before they've made some type of a deal to give a big chunk of money away to a broker. So let's just start with this and let's see what pops up. All right. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to see a lot of businesses for sale. Here, for example, Biz by Sell is one service. It's kind of like a search engine, as well as something else, Craigslist. Okay. Craigslist is another one that we use a lot. But let's go ahead and just start with this bizbysell.com. We're going to take a look, and there's a few different search engines. You'll see 3 or 4 different ones, but Biz by Sell is one of them. Now, if you take a look, a bunch of things are going to start populating and popping up here. And if I look at the bottom of the page, I'm going to show you that right here, we've got just in Las Vegas. Now, Vegas is a fairly small town. We've got 9 pages of listings of different types of businesses for sale, okay? So what I'm going to do to start with, and you're going to notice something with a few of these, is that you can search, and we can refine the search by clicking on this. And I want to do a keyword, which is Las Vegas owner financing. So let's take a look at owner financing. And you'll see what pops up here in a second. Okay, great. So, as you can see, we've got a bunch of businesses that are starting to pop up here. And these are typically, when you search with owner financing, the owner is so motivated to get out of the business for whatever reason. We don't know the reason yet. We haven't gotten to that step, but they're looking and motivated that they're going to hold some of the paper and the note on the business. Now, of course, one of the other strategies that we teach is that we can actually use the assets of the business, whether it be their equipment, their trucks, their machinery, their real estate, if they own real estate or property or a building, and get a loan against that, even if we don't have good credit, even if we don't have cash of our own or very, very little cash to no cash out of pocket. So let's go ahead and take a look. Now, there's a variety of businesses. We've got a chiropractic business. We have cafes. And a lot of times what I personally like to do, I like health and fitness. I work out a lot, so it's one of my passions in life and staying healthy. I like to look sometimes at gyms or athletic facilities or things that are health oriented if I can, have something that I might be interested in. Now, it's not necessary, but that's something that I like to do, is sometimes look at businesses that are something within my passions. As we're looking at these, we have laundry mats to lingerie, intimate apparel. I'm working actually with one lady who's interested in doing more things in apparel, so that would be an example of something that she's looking to do. We've got franchises in here. Now, typically I stay away from franchises because you got to give a nice big chunk of money to the corporate franchise over, every month based on your net profit. So I typically stay away from franchises. And we'll take a look. Here's some beauty salons, roofing, HV, dry cleaners, medical spas are quite popular here. We've got 11 pages that popped up now. Wow. Okay, let's go to the next page, see what else pops up as far as businesses. Profitable bar, tavern, diversified, sunglass store, printing shop, nutritional supplements, health food products, smooth. Now this is interesting because take a look. Cash flow, they're only selling to business for $375. Cash flow of $214. Let's just take a look. As like I said, we were looking at nutrition and health is something that I personally am interested in. Now, manufacturing businesses, something like trucking companies are typically some of the best to start with. What I say has a nice, gross income of about $1 million, is a nice small to medium sized business. But take a look. When this is a little bit smaller, it has a gross revenue of $633, $80,000 worth of inventory. So let's take a look at this. It gives a little bit more detail on it. High quality products, herbs, supplements. This one's actually offered by a broker. They've got a leased building, 1,200 square feet. And what you're going to see here too is support and training. The owners typically will help support you with the actual running of the business. Now, if you're working with us, as you've already heard, we actually are partners in an equity group. And when you work with us, you also become an affiliate partner with the equity group. And there's financing sources available. There's hard money loans. We've got investors looking to jump into other businesses. If you find something that's attractive and you just want a $5,000 to a $20,000 finder's fee, sometimes more depending on the profit in the actual company. But we like to see, even though within our equity group we have experts and consultants that come in and will rehab the operations of the business for a small fee, owners typically will support us usually for a month or two. This one says 14 days, but we can typically negotiate. Well, stay aboard a month, kind of hold our hand, take a look at this. This one doesn't look like it's owner financing, even though it came up, but I wanted to show you just to kind of give you an example of the basic listings that they have on a field that I basically have an, personal interest in. Let's take a look here. Now, I saw one. I was on this just a little while ago before shooting this video, and I actually saw a gym for sale as well, which looked, and it actually was looking at owner financing. So let's go ahead. I'm going to show you one. We'll just kind of cut right to the chase here now that you see the basics of how this works. I'm going to go back to another source that I like, and that's where I saw the gym, and I mentioned it just a couple minutes ago, and that is your local Craigslist ad. Because remember I showed you that Craigslist on an earlier, I think, tutorial, but let's take a look right here. Las Vegas for sale by owner, commercial business for sale. And here it pops up. Wow, we've got a bunch of them popping up here. And I wanted to show you this because this is actually where I did see one. Search businesses, commercial for sale by owner. So I'm going to put for sale business. Let's put in owner financing. Let's take a look at that. Because I saw a gym that is here in Las Vegas locally for sale that looked like it had some nice cash flow. And you'll see these are all businesses for sale by owner. In Las Vegas, we have walking advertised sign business. We have some pretty unique businesses here in Las Vegas, as you can imagine. Income property, of course. They'll have duplexes, things of that nature. You've got sometimes internet businesses that are run by a webmaster locally. Concession stand businesses. You'll see various things like that as well. So let's go ahead. I don't see it listed here, but I'm going to go ahead and put in, let's go to Las Vegas Craigslist right to the search engine, and we're going to put in business for sale, and we'll look at the gym I was eyeballing that I wanted to show you. And let's see if I can get it under health. I think I searched under health, and let's take a look at what pops up on our local Las Vegas Craigslist for business for sale. Okay, here we go. We've got a health food delivery. I actually looked at some of these too. These are interesting. Health food delivery. The profits weren't quite big enough. Here's one right here. Take a look at this. Distress sale, profitable franchise smoothie store. Like I said, typically I like to stay away from franchises, but you will see, I did look at this one, so I want to show you this just as an example of what I'm talking about with a couple of the key elements. Distress sale doesn't always mean that it's not profitable, because take a look at this situation. And this is actually a truthful, I did a little due diligence on this just to show you. A confidentiality agreement must be signed, located in a nice area of town. Store costs nearly $200,000 to put together and duplicate. Great location. The rent's $3,000 a month. According to the profit and loss statements, as an example, the store grossed $142,000 just up until September, and that's what, about 9 months, up 50% from 2015. If that can be verified, of course, that's very attractive. But take a look at the reason why. The owner is a reserve military officer who was recently called to active duty and has to work outside of Las Vegas and doesn't have any time to run or manage the store anymore. The owner has recently been diagnosed with a serious health challenge. And this, believe it or not, you'll see these types of situations quite often in every city. There's various types of situations why people are selling. The owner is seriously motivated to sell, is asking only $80,000 for the store and will consider any realistic offer. So guess what? What's interesting about this is, you talk about owner financing. If somebody hasn't come in and made an attractive enough offer, guess what? That $80,000, I've seen people, and we've walked into a business like this, we said, I'll tell you what, you hold the $80,000 note. And with these types of profits, we come in and we're going to run it. We'll pay you back, a certain chunk of money every month to pay down that $80,000 within the first 6 months or 12 months. And believe it or not, if he's that motivated, he'll say yes to a deal like that, because they're typically looking for somebody that's honest, that's ethical, that the owner can trust, that will basically help him take this off his hands. If these numbers through our due diligence all check out, up 50% from 2015 is an amazing profit margin. And as we probably realize, health conscious types of things are on the upswing. So this is just one example of a deal that we might go ahead and contact that owner and just start into, that second, phase of the process. And the third phase, coming up with a solution that I'm, really happy with, that the owner can settle for, because he says he's asking 80. I guarantee you he'd probably come down lower if I wanted to walk in and got some type of financing against the equipment of the store, possibly, and offer him 60, and got $142,000 made, and it grossed just in the first 8 or 9 months of this year. And that's what the owner, absent. Imagine if you put in a little bit of effort and, a little bit of, spit and shine, as they say, into the business. So this is an example of just one on Craigslist that I wanted to show you of what it would look like. And this owner, I am 99% sure, would go ahead, and we'll show you on future case study videos as we're walking through this process exactly how we approach the owner or the broker. For example, in this case, he is working with somebody of what the situation is with them, and make them an offer and create some type of a solution that might be win-win for both of us. So that's an example of that one. I'm going to show you just one more, because I'm sure that now your interest is getting piqued to show you just how simple this is. And of course, we're not taught this stuff in school. So these aren't things that we're typically educated on, especially if you've done any kind of real estate investing and you work so hard for $30,000 profit. You can turn around and, believe me, create something with a very, very lucrative cash flow structure and flip it fairly quickly. So let's put business for sale. Let's see if it's under fitness. I wanted to show you that gym, and I want to find it here for you. Let's see if here it is. Profitable gym for sale, right there. 180,000. This is the one I saw a little bit earlier. That let's pop it up here. Here we go. Kind of give you an example of what's come up. $180,000, over $500,000 invested, zero debt. Everything is owned out right now. Why is that attractive? Well, that means that the actual equipment, there's a lot of equipment in gym that costs a lot of money. The property's leased, $1.10 a square foot, very reasonable price here in Las Vegas. They already have 450 members that is actively on account getting auto charged through their POS fob system. It says right, down here, software system, automatically, it keeps hitting their credit card each month. All the details of the actual gym, debt-free high-end exercise equipment. They spent over $240,000 alone for the equipment. Here's all the different types of equipment they have. Has no franchise fees or anything like that, which is awesome. Again, something we talked about. Please provide all your contact details. The current owner did all the hard work to build it, purchasing the equipment. Serious buyers only $180K. So again, this is an example of just something that I like. And now this is a smaller business. I like to look at $500,000 to $1 million gross revenue businesses for sale. But this just might be a passion project if the numbers worked out well enough and there's some really, really good upside potential. This just gives you another clear idea of how looking at businesses on Craigslist that are for sale by owner, as well as some of the local search engines of businesses for sale that I showed you earlier. So we'll keep these videos coming as we keep on showing you our new 5-step system with the business acquisition strategies that we have right now through the Business Master University. This is Robert Vitelli with Mike Warren kind of signing off for the day, and we will see and talk to you guys real soon.